Hey, it's Joel from AlterMedia. Over the past few years, we've been talking to our customers about what they need in studio management software. It's obvious the whole workflow has changed a lot in recent years, and we want to stay on top of that. Fortunately, due to the success of Studio Suite X, we've been able to hire a bunch of additional programmers, and we've all been hard at work implementing a lot of the features that people have been asking for. Now, rather than do a boring, expansive 90-minute video, we decided to break it up into a series of 3 to 5-minute videos, each one focusing on a particular challenge that studios are having and how we're addressing that in Studio Suite. So welcome to part 1 of that series, each one leading up to the release of Studio Suite XI on September 9th. So one of the big things we've been talking about with people is accessibility. They want to be able to have access to their Studio Suite data wherever they are, and we've got that. Before we get started, I want to point out that the screens are mirrored, so whatever I'm doing on the iOS device is what you're seeing on screen. So with that, let's get started. Before we can talk too much about accessibility, we need to talk about the 3 versions of Studio Suite. The first one is Solo. This is our entry-level product. It's single user, and it's aimed at students and hobbyists. The next version is the Pro version. This is also single user, but aimed at small business professionals. And the third version is our network version. This is really our flagship version. It's multi-user, it's professional, it's aimed at studio businesses. Let's talk about the first 2. I mentioned they were single user, and this means that they are really only accessible in one place, and that would be your desktop. Since we're talking about accessibility, let's now talk about the network version, which typically means there's a server, in this case with Studio Suite XI installed, connected to your network. And this is what provides access over the network to the desktop application, the iPad, the iPhone, and also to Web Glancer, which is our more limited read-only access to Studio Suite through a browser, and also provides the two-way sync to iCal and Google Calendar. Now, we've had these 6 access points for some time. We've made a lot of improvements to them in XI, some of which I'll show you. But the first kind of big news is with number 7 here, with Web Glancer Plus, where we are now providing the ability for your staffers and freelancers to log their time into a project via the quick log through a browser without occupying a seat of Studio Suite, which means it's for free. So that's pretty big news. But the bigger news is number 8 here, where we're now providing browser access to the majority of the Studio Suite functionality, again through a browser. So that's also pretty big because you can get it from anywhere. So let's look at some of that. Now, before we talk too much about accessibility, I just want to quickly mention the interface. We've done a lot of work on it. I'm hoping that you'll see that the interface is just nicer to look at and also just a little bit easier to consume the data. We've worked a lot at just making it easier to see the screen and see what it is that you're looking at. Okay, I'm going to zoom out again and bring in the iOS devices, and you'll see that these interfaces do look, pretty much the same. The next thing I'm going to do is bring in our Web Glancer, switching over to Chrome. So this is Chrome up here. And we've got the read-only access to Contacts, Library, Calendar, Quick Log, which is actually more than read-only. We can edit information here. And then also tasks and web requests. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into our brand new calendar, which I'm actually really excited about because we did a lot of work on it. So we've got resources down the left side, time across the top. And the coolest new thing is projects down the bottom. So these items here are projects, and when we hover over these, we see tooltips reflecting those things. So the next video is going to go over everything about the calendar, so I don't want to tell you too much, but just look a little bit over here. We'll see we've got daily notes, tasks, resources, projects, and employee schedules on there. Okay, so the next big thing we're talking about here is Web Direct. This is where we've got full access to all of Studio Suite in a browser, and I want to show you how this works. So notice up here we've got I see this everywhere, I see it everywhere. Let me go over to here on my iPhone. I see it everywhere, and I see it everywhere. So I'm going to click into my browser, and I'm going to type really? ? And then as soon as I click out, we're going to see that that showed up on all my other devices. And in fact, I'm going to pick up my iPhone right now and type in the word yes, ! And as soon as I do that and touch out of there, we're going to see that all of the other devices are saying that as well. So that's really pretty impressive if I say so myself. Speaking of the mobile device, I'm going to quickly show you our Web Glancer mobile. I'm going to jump into the calendar. And so here we can just quickly jump around to see all of the things that are going on. If I want to touch on any one of these, it brings me into the details of that event. And if I want to only view my events on the day that I'm looking at, that works as well. So that's pretty nice for the mobile device. Next thing we're going to look at is Google Calendar. All of the projects and resources that I schedule in Studio Suite can have two-way sync to Google Calendar. Previously it was just resources, and now it's projects and invoices and productions and daily notes. Any change that I make here is going to get reflected back in Studio Suite, and any change that I make over in Calendar, what used to be called iCal, will also happen the same way. So the format of these is a little bit different, but they are essentially showing the same things. One more quick note on this in relation to access is that we have added the ability to export Studio Suite invoices out to QuickBooks Online on a PC. And I also want to mention that we have updated the way we're storing all the media assets in Studio Suite so that they can be accessible on all these devices as well. But that's the topic of another video. So that's how you and your team can access all of your Studio Suite data no matter where you are. Please let us know what you think in the comment section below. And do me a favor, please tell all your friends about this, tweet it, pin it, blog it, all those things. And stay tuned for another video from us in a few days, all leading up to the much anticipated release of Studio Suite XI on September 9th. Thanks for watching.